Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, there is this big special coming out on August 31st, which is tomorrow night from Fox Nation. I don't currently have Fox Nation, but I might be giving it a trial. They spoke with Buster Murdaugh about the murder accusations that he killed Stephen Smith. So this is a clip from Law and Crime, and I'm going to have to pause it multiple times for the fair use and all that. But I look forward to listening to it, and of course, as we all know, he is denying everything. But that's not really a surprise, is it?
I never had anything to do with his murder, and I never had anything to do with him on a physical level of any regard.
Buster Murdaugh speaking for the first time publicly in a Fox Nation documentary, denying any involvement in the death of his high school classmate, Stephen Smith. So what else did he say? Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. The only time the general public has heard from Buster Murdaugh was when he testified at the double murder trial of his father, Alec Murdaugh, earlier this year. Now, Murdaugh has granted an exclusive sit-down interview to Martha McCallum for a Fox Nation documentary, The Fall of the House of Murdaugh. Earlier this year, Buster Murdaugh issued a statement vehemently denying any involvement in Smith's death. This came after he felt podcasts and documentaries had cast him as a suspect in Smith's death, and after Smith's mother raised money to exhume her son's body so a second autopsy could be performed. For those not familiar with the case, Stephen Smith was an openly gay teenager whose body was found in the middle of a road in Hampton County in July of 2015. Smith's car was found a couple of miles away with the gas cap off. The first autopsy determined Smith died as a result of a hit and run, but the manner was listed as undetermined. Records related to the investigation showed the Murdaugh name came up several times throughout the course of the investigation as the small-town rumor mill churned. Documentaries played recordings of state troopers interviewing people who claimed to have heard rumors about Stephen Smith and Buster Murdaugh. Now Murdaugh is answering questions about the allegations.
Okay, so before he speaks here, the thing about the Murdaughs, as we've learned, they're full of lies and or deceptions. You know, let's be careful how I word things here. So he's allegedly accused of murdering Stephen Smith or being a part of the death of Stephen Smith. But it's, to me, there's just so many red flags that come up. I don't know. I'm not buying that, you know, he didn't have a part in it. Because like she said, the Murdaugh name comes up so quickly and so often in Stephen's case. And I think that the second autopsy is going to really be a game changer.
For the first time.
His sister said someone approached her and said that you and Stephen were romantically involved. His brother says that someone approached him and says that you were with a group of young men who beat him with a baseball bat. What do you say to that? To both of those?
Absolutely baseless rumors. I unequivocally deny anything that you just read off of that piece of paper.
I can't wait till the behavior analysts can analyze this interview, because I'm just looking at his responses and his mannerisms as she's asking the questions, and I don't know, I'm not buying it, guys. I'm not buying it. I think he's involved, whether he is the actual person that attacked Stephen or he was a part of it. Something tells me that Buster has a hand in this.
I did not have any personal, intimate relations with Stephen, and that obviously cannot be proven because it is baseless. I never had anything to do with his murder, and I never had anything to do with him on a physical level of any regard.
No one has ever been charged in Stephen Smith's death, and the results of the second autopsy, conducted after Smith's remains were exhumed earlier this year, have not been released. However, the attorney representing Smith's mother told Law and Crime that a state grand jury is investigating his death. Martha McCallum asked Murdaugh where he was the night Stephen Smith died.
Where were you the night that Stephen Smith was killed?
The night Stephen was killed, I was at our Edisto Beach house.
With your family?
With my mom and my brother.
Two witnesses who can vouch for Buster Murdaugh's whereabouts that night, his mother Maggie and younger brother Paul, are dead.
Conveniently, like she said, the two witnesses that could vouch for this, which I think they would lie for him anyway if they were still here. That's my personal opinion. They're both deceased. They're gone. So I think that particular quote-unquote alibi or what have you is kind of hard to prove.
They were murdered on June 7th, 2021. His father, Alec Murdaugh, is serving 2 life sentences for the murders, but plans to appeal. So what has it been like for Buster Murdaugh? As some people have suggested, he murdered Stephen Smith.
What did you feel like when you heard that this thing was surfacing again?
Well, it's a lot like this, and you know, I don't want to be rude here, but have you ever been accused of murdering somebody?
No.
Well, let me tell you this, it is very, 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 it's a terrible thing to place on somebody with absolutely no fact. I mean, it has harmed my reputation. I mean, people perceive me as a murderer.
This is the second time Buster Murdaugh has said his reputation has been harmed by what he calls lies. Whether he plans to take any legal action isn't clear, but he called the allegations that he was involved in Smith's death defamatory earlier this year. The Fall of the House of Murdaugh premieres on Fox Nation on August 31st.
Yeah, Buster, I think your reputation kind of is not good right now anyway. I mean, you got that Murdaugh stink, that stank right now, you know? And I don't know. I mean, it seems to me, my opinion is the Murdaugh family is a bit dirty. Not necessarily all involving murders and what have you, but they're definitely not a clean, honest family, and which we have learned through his father's trial. And his younger brother, who is now deceased, he was involved in a homicide because of his actions. So, you know, and him bringing it right back to the interview, have you ever been accused of a murder? Well, let me suggest something, Buster. With all the resources that you still probably have at your fingertips, and granted, it's probably a bit changed now, but if you legitimately did not do this crime or have anything to do with the death of Stephen Smith, maybe being a part of putting your money where your mouth is, helping with the investigation, cooperating, putting it out there saying you want to do anything you could do to help his family find out who really did this. But I don't think you're going to do that because I think you're involved, allegedly, my opinion. Because we have to be careful with our words, of course. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Buster is involved in the death of Stephen Smith? Or do you think, or do you believe him and think that, no, he's innocent? Let me know what you think in the comments. And we'll definitely be following up with the full documentary interview, probably in the coming days. But with that said, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.